My fiancée said, "Your best man is too ugly for my wedding photos. Get rid of him." I replied, "You're right. I'll take care of it." Then I replaced her instead. When she arrived for the rehearsal dinner and saw who was sitting in her spot, I'm a 32-year-old man who thought I was marrying the love of my life. Victoria, 29, and I had been together for 4 years and engaged for 8 months. The wedding was scheduled for next month. Everything seemed perfect until last Thursday. My best friend Tommy, 33, has been my ride or die since middle school. He had a tough time when he was 16 due to a house fire, which left him with burn scars on the left side of his face and neck. That never stopped him from being the most genuine and loyal person I know. He started his own auto shop, married an amazing woman, and has 2 great kids. When I asked him to be my best man, he was genuinely emotional. Last Thursday, Victoria and I were finalizing wedding details. She pulled up the photographer's shot list and then dropped a bombshell. So about Tommy? What about him? He can't be in the main wedding party photos. The scarring will ruin the aesthetic. I genuinely thought she was joking. That's not funny, Vic. I'm serious. Maybe he can stand at the end where we can crop him out, or we could use makeup to cover it. Are you actually suggesting I hide my best friend because of how he looks? She rolled her eyes. Don't be dramatic. It's my wedding. I've been planning this since I was 12. Every photo has to be perfect. He's just too ugly for the vision I have. The word ugly hit me hard. This woman had shared Sunday dinners at Tommy's house. His kids called her Aunt Vicky. He's my best man. Period. Then find someone else. Maybe your cousin Brandon. He's tall and has a good jawline. You want me to replace my best friend with someone I see twice a year just because he's better looking? It's about having standards, babe. The photos last forever. Do you really want to look back in 20 years and see that in every shot? I stood up, surprisingly calm. You're right. I should handle this. She smiled and kissed my cheek. I knew you'd understand. We can tell Tommy he's needed for something else important, like managing the guest book. I nodded. I'll take care of it tomorrow. Update 1. I couldn't sleep that night, replaying every interaction between Victoria and Tommy. How she'd always been too busy to attend his kids' birthday parties. How she'd suggested we upgrade our friend group once we were married. Red flags I had ignored. Friday morning, I drove to Tommy's shop. He was under a Corolla with music blasting. Tommy, we need to talk. He rolled out and saw my face. Who died? My relationship. I told him everything, word for word. His face went through a range of emotions. Hurt, anger, then concern for me. Bro, I'll step down. I don't want to cause. Stop. Just stop. You're my best man. You're my brother. If anyone's getting replaced, it's not you. What are you saying? I'm saying I need a new fiancée. He stared at me. You're dumping Victoria 3 weeks before the wedding? No, I'm realizing that Victoria already dumped everything that matters to me. She just hasn't figured it out yet. Tommy tried to talk me out of it, suggesting wedding stress makes people act crazy, and maybe she didn't mean it. But I knew better. This wasn't stress. This was who she really was when the mask slipped. I had a plan, though. The rehearsal dinner was in 5 days. Deposits were all paid, vendors locked in, and Victoria's entire family was flying in from all over the country. Since I was managing the finances, she focused more on the vision. Everything was in my name. First call, my sister Rebecca, 30, an event planner who knows everyone in the industry. Beeks. Hypothetically, how hard would it be to change some details for the rehearsal dinner? What kind of details? Like the bride? There was a long pause. What did she do? I told her about Tommy. Rebecca went ballistic. She'd always been protective of Tommy since his accident. She was there that night and even drove him to hospital. That shallow witch. Okay, what do you need? I need the most beautiful, classy woman you know to be my date to the rehearsal. Someone who makes Victoria look like she shops at discount stores. I know just the person. Remember Natasha from my company party? She's a former model turned PR executive. Looked like Zenaida's prettier sister. Also happened to be Tommy's cousin, though Victoria never knew that because she never bothered to learn about Tommy's family. Perfect. Call her. Next, I called the venue and explained there had been a change in the primary guest. They were surprisingly accommodating and happy to adjust everything as needed. Then came the fun part. I called Victoria's mom, Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Just confirming you're still flying in Tuesday for the rehearsal. Of course. I'm so excited. Victoria showed me photos of her dress. Stunning. Great. Just want to make sure. See you at 7 p.m. sharp at the venue. Will Tommy be there? Victoria mentioned adjusting the wedding party. Oh, Tommy will definitely be there. Front and center. Update 2. The following days were surreal. Victoria was in full wedding mode, constantly showing me Pinterest boards and flower arrangements. I smiled, nodded, and agreed with everything. You were right about the photos, I said. Sunday night. They should be perfect. She beamed. I knew you'd come around. Did you talk to Tommy? I handled it, and Brandon agreed to step in. Everything sorted. On Monday, I met with my lawyer and canceled all the wedding vendors in my name. I lost some deposits, but most were understanding given the circumstances. The photographer even refunded me in full after I explained why we were canceling. Turns out his brother has facial scars from an IED explosion in Afghanistan. He was appalled. The venue for the actual wedding canceled, and the honeymoon flights and resort were also canceled and partially refunded. The only thing I kept was a rehearsal dinner. That was going to be my farewell gift to Victoria, a very public lesson in consequences. Tuesday afternoon, Victoria left to get her nails done with her bridesmaids. I packed everything I owned and moved it to my brother's place, leaving her stuff exactly where it was, but taking everything that belonged to me. Even the good coffee maker that was definitely mine. Tommy came by to help. You sure about this? Never been more sure of anything. This is going to be brutal. Yeah, for her. At 6:30 p.m., I put on my best suit, the one Victoria always said made me look like a leading man. Tommy picked me up, dressed sharp as always. We swung by to get Natasha, who looked absolutely stunning, in a deep blue dress. You sure you're okay with this? I asked her, are you kidding? Victoria once told me I was pretty for someone who used a model. This is karma delivered first class. We arrived at the venue at 6:45. The staff greeted me warmly, and I noticed they had followed my updated instructions perfectly. The place cards were adjusted, and the seating chart was reorganized. Victoria's name was nowhere to be found, but there was a Natasha Williams card at the bride's seat. Guests started arriving. My family knew what was happening. I had called them Monday night. They were there for support and probably for the show. Victoria's family was clueless, mingling and taking photos. At 7:10, I saw Victoria's car pull up through the window. She was laughing with her sister, touching up her lipstick in the mirror. She walked in wearing the white cocktail dress she had bought specifically for tonight. Bridal, but not too bridal, she'd said. She saw me first and started walking over with a huge smile. Then she noticed Tommy standing right next to me at what would be the head table. Her smile wavered slightly. Then she spotted Natasha seated in her spot, wearing the corsage meant for the bride. The color drained from her face. What is she doing here? Oh, Natasha. She's my date. We're celebrating my freedom tonight. You're what? Where's my seat? You don't have one. This is a family and friends event. You're neither. Her mom approached, confused. Victoria, why are you standing there? Come sit. Wait, who's that in your chair? Mom, something's wrong. I stood up and tapped my glass. The room went quiet. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to what was supposed to be our rehearsal dinner. There's been a change of plans. There will be no wedding. I've recently discovered that Victoria and I have fundamentally different values. She believed that physical appearance determined someone's worth. Specifically, she demanded I replace my best man Tommy here because his burn scars would ruin her perfect wedding photos. Gasps filled the room. Tommy's wife Lauren actually stood up, ready to confront someone. So, I've decided to replace someone from the wedding party after all. Just not Tommy. Victoria, you're dismissed from my life. Your belongings will be available for pickup tomorrow between 9 a.m. and noon. Bring a truck. Update 3. The explosion was immediate and spectacular. Victoria's face went from white to red to purple in about 3 seconds. You can't do this. I already did. Weddings canceled. Venue, vendors, honeymoon, all gone. We have contracts, deposits, all in my name. All canceled yesterday. Her sister Olivia jumped up. This is insane. You're humiliating her over a tiny misunderstanding. Calling my best friend too ugly for photos isn't a misunderstanding. It shows me exactly who she is. Eleanor was in tears. Victoria, what is he talking about? You didn't actually say that about Tommy. Victoria spun around. Mom, it's not like that. I just wanted nice photos. Every bride deserves perfect photos. By excluding someone because of scars he got saving his little sister from a fire, Lauren finally spoke up. Oh, yeah. Victoria didn't know that part of the story either. Never cared enough to ask. The room went silent. Even Victoria's dad, who had been trying to stay neutral, looked disgusted. You told me Tommy was in a car accident, Eleanor said slowly. Same difference, Victoria snapped. The point is you're shallow, I interrupted, and cruel. I'm grateful you showed me before we got married. Victoria turned back to me, tears starting, but not sad tears, angry tears. You think you can just embarrass me like this? I'll sue you. You'll have to pay for everything. Sue me for what? Breaking up with you? Good luck with that. This is defamation. I'll ruin you. Natasha finally spoke up, her voice smooth as silk. Actually, defamation requires false statements. Everyone here heard exactly what you said about Tommy. That's just the truth. Victoria noticed her for the first time. Who even are you? Some escort he hired. I'm Tommy's cousin. You know, the ugly best man. Guess shallow runs in your family's opinion of ours. That's when Victoria lost it completely. She started screaming about how I was a pathetic loser, how she'd settle for me, and how she could do so much better. Her parents tried to calm her down, but she was in full meltdown mode. You think you're better than me? You're nobody. I made you better. I fixed your stupid style. Made you presentable. Without me, you're just some mediocre guy with an ugly best friend. And there it is, I said calmly. The real Victoria. Thank you for proving my point. Security showed up then. Yeah, I'd warned the venue this might happen. As they escorted Victoria and her family out, she kept screaming threats. Her mom looked mortified, and her dad wouldn't even make eye contact with her. The rest of us had a great dinner. My family, Tommy's family, and real friend were there. Natasha was a perfect date. Charming, funny, and she kept joking about how she was available for any future revenge dinners I might need. Update 4. The next 3 days were absolutely chaotic. Victoria showed up Wednesday at 8 a.m. with a U-Haul and her entire family. I wasn't there. I stayed at my brother's specifically to avoid this. But my neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, a 70-year-old who takes no nonsense, filmed everything on her phone. Victoria tried to take everything, my TV, my couch, most of the kitchen appliances. When she couldn't get into the apartment, I had already arranged with the landlord to change the locks. She started screaming that I was stealing from her. Mrs. Rodriguez called the cops. When they arrived, Victoria claimed she lived there, and I had illegally evicted her, except her name wasn't on the lease. She had no mail there, and her ID showed a different address. The cops told her she could only take what she could prove was hers, which amounted to her clothes, makeup, some decorative pillows, and the Peloton her dad bought her, all of which I had already boxed up and left with the building manager. But the real circus started Thursday. Victoria went on social media with her version of events. According to her post, I had been emotionally abusive for months and was jealous of her success. She claimed I had trapped her into a relationship and then humiliated her. I was supposedly gay and using Tommy as a cover. Yeah, she went there. She started a GoFundMe for emotional trauma therapy. The post got maybe 30 likes, mostly from her echo chamber friends. Then Tommy's wife, Lauren, commented with screenshots. Screenshots of Victoria's text from months ago. Tommy gives me the creeps. Does he have to come to everything? Can't we just do couples things without the burn victim? I'm not shallow, but he makes every photo look like a medical documentary. Victoria deleted the post within an hour, but the internet is forever, and Lauren had already shared it to the local wedding shaming group. It went mini-viral. The wedding photographer who had refunded me even commented, "I've photographed hundreds of weddings. The ugliest thing I've ever seen is a bride who thinks scars determine someone's worth." Friday morning, I got a call from Victoria's dad, Richard. "Son, I mean Nathan, I'm sorry. We didn't raise her to be like this." "I appreciate that, Richard. I need you to know we're not paying for any lawyer. If she tries to sue you, this is on her." "Thank you." Also, Tommy saved his sister. Yeah, when he was 16, he ran back into a burning house to save her. She was 8. Long pause. Jesus Christ. And she called him. "I'm so sorry." The grand finale came Saturday. Victoria showed up at my brother's house with her new boyfriend, some guy named Chase, whom she'd apparently been talking to for months. Interesting timeline there. She wanted to show me she'd upgraded. Chase looked like a budget Chris Hemsworth if Chris Hemsworth skipped leg day and had the personality of white bread. He tried to act tough, chest puffed out. "So you're the loser who fumbled Victoria?" "I'm the guy who dodged a bullet." "Yeah, she told me what you did. Pretty pathetic, bro." "What's pathetic is being the rebound guy for someone who just got publicly dumped for being shallow." "Whatever. She's with a real man now." Tommy chose that moment to pull up. All 6 feet 3 inches of him, built like a linebacker from years of hard work. Chase took one look at him and suddenly remembered he had somewhere to be. Victoria was left standing there, her upgrade speeding away in his leased BMW. "This isn't over," she screamed. "No, Victoria. You ruined your own life when you decided my best friend's appearance was more important than his character or mine or yours." Final update. It's been 3 months now. The dust has settled. Here's where everyone ended up. Victoria tried to sue me for breach of promise and emotional distress. Her lawyer dropped the case when he realized there was no legal ground, and she couldn't pay his retainer. She then tried to claim I'd stolen her grandmother's ring. I never gave her a family ring. I bought one from a regular jewelry store, which I returned for 80% of its value. That went nowhere. 2. She's still with Chase, I think, though Lauren showed me his Tinder profile is active, so that's going well. Her Instagram is now private after the wedding shaming groups had their fun. Last I heard, she was trying to become a life coach about surviving narcissistic abuse. The irony is thick enough to cut. Her family essentially distanced themselves. Eleanor sent me a Christmas card with an apology letter inside and a check for $500, her way of compensating for what I lost in deposits. I sent it back with a note saying her apology was enough. Richard still texts me occasionally about football. They didn't invite Victoria to Thanksgiving from what I heard. She spent it with Chase's family, who apparently asked her why she wasn't married yet since she was getting up there in age. She's 29. Tommy was my rock through all this. Honestly, if Victoria had succeeded in making me drop him, I'd have lost more than a best friend. I'd have lost my integrity. His daughter actually made me a card that said, "Thank you for choosing Daddy over the mean lady." I have it framed on my desk. Oh, and Natasha? We went on a few real dates. It didn't work romantically, but we're better as friends. She's dating one of my cousins now, and they're incredibly happy. She still jokes that she provides Revenge +1 services for anyone who needs them. Me? I'm good. Better than good. Actually, I learned that when someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Victoria showed me she valued appearances over substance, image over loyalty, and her perfect day over real relationships. What still gets me isn't even what she said about Tommy. It's that she assumed I'd go along with it. She thought so little of my character that I'd dump my best friend for better wedding photos. That's not love. That's not even respect. That's just viewing someone as an accessory to your life, not a partner in it. I kept one photo from our relationship, the one from Tommy's daughter's birthday party last year. Victoria had claimed she was sick that day. In the photo, It's just me, Tommy, his family, and my family, all laughing at something his son said. Everyone who actually matters to me is in that picture. Looking at it now, I realized Victoria was never supposed to be in it anyway. She'd edited herself out of the important moments long before I made it official. Some of Victoria's flying monkeys still try to slide into my DMs about how I ruin a good woman, or how I'm probably gay anyway. I just block them and move on. The people who matter know the truth. The ones who don't matter. Tommy asked me last week if I regret doing it so publicly. If maybe I should have just called off the wedding privately, letting her save face. I thought about it for maybe 2 seconds. Nah, she tried to make me feel guilty for defending you. She wanted to hide you like some shameful secret. The only shameful thing was her, and I just made sure everyone could see it. Love you too. Bro, don't make it weird. But yeah, I love that scarred, loyal, beautiful guy. Any woman who can't see his worth doesn't deserve to be in either of our lives. The wedding would have cost about $30,000. All told, losing a few grand in deposits was worth every penny to find out who Victoria really was. Consider it the best investment I ever made. I paid a small price to avoid a lifetime of shallow misery with someone who thought love came with aesthetic requirements. Word of advice: when someone tells you to remove a good person from your life because they don't fit the image, remove the person making the demand instead. Your real friends will still be there. The fake ones? Well, they'll show themselves out when they realize you value character over cameras. Oh, and Victoria's perfect wedding vision? Her sister Olivia got married last month. Guess who she didn't invite? Apparently, even family has limits when you publicly demonstrate that you're garbage wrapped in a pretty bow. Karma isn't always instant, but damn if it isn't thorough.